Today we're going to do a little twist on an old school classic, beef stroganoff, but of course we're going to make it plant-based, so we're going to make a mushroom stroganoff. Now you probably remember growing up as a kid, everybody had beef stroganoff over those big egg noodles, right? Well, interesting enough, beef stroganoff actually originated in Russia. It was a Russian dish made by a French chef for the very wealthy Stroganoff family. What happened was the family, some of the older people got too old and their teeth were bad and they couldn't chew big, heavy, meaty steaks, but they wanted the steak. So this French chef came up with this way to cut it down into smaller bits and cook it down so it was nice and tender. And because it's a French dish, it's made with a little cream and a little sort of that Dijon kind of sauce aspect, which I love about it. This is one of my favorite things. I love mushrooms, all different types. So what we're gonna do, this is really simple. I've got some that I've already, we're about ready to finish here. I've just got some classic mushrooms, some cremini mushrooms, baby portobellas, mini bellas, whatever you wanna do, some regular button mushrooms, and some shiitake. I love shiitake mushrooms. These are more of like an East Asian type of mushroom. They've got great flavor, great umami. These are also really rich in antioxidants, which are good. Mushrooms are actually really good for you. They are a fungus, obviously they do come from the ground. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna slice up our mushrooms, we're gonna cook down some onions, some garlic, all that. We're gonna get that nice and aromatic. We're gonna add some herbs and seasonings, a little soy sauce. I love cooking with soy sauce in these dishes with sauces because it adds more of a rich kind of that umami thing that you're not getting because there is no actual meat. Little plant-based butter, I love that buttery aspect to it too. Little olive oil, obviously, and nutritional yeast. You know, it's my go-to, I love it. Nutritional yeast adds as a nice thickening agent. It will also add a nice kind of cheesy, kind of really rich flavor as well. So this is just about finished, but what I'm gonna do is I added a little cream earlier. I love this product. It's a dairy-free creamer. Like it's sort of like a cream you could use in your coffee, or you could make a cashew cream, which I've showed you how to do before, or you could use a plant-based milk, but this is gonna add some nice creaminess to it. We're just gonna dump a little bit of that in, and we're gonna cook this a little bit more, and it's gonna get nice and thick and creamy. Now, depending on how thick you want your stroganoff, I like to keep it a little more stew consistency, right? If it gets too thick, you know. Now, what I've done is, the way that I like to do this is I love mashed potatoes. I'm an old school classic meat potatoes guy, but now I'm a plant-based meat potatoes guy, right? But I love mashed potatoes, so I made some garlic mashed potatoes. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna serve this over garlic mashed potatoes because traditionally, back in the day, it was never served over pasta. The Russians didn't eat pasta. You know, Russians aren't known for pasta. Back in the 50s, during that whole mid-century Betty Crocker era, egg noodles became popular, and it was whatever you can serve over egg noodles. And then beef stroganoff became known to be served over traditional egg noodles. Now, obviously, egg noodles have eggs in them, so they're not plant-based, so we're not going to do that. You could do this over a pasta. You could do a tagliatelle, you could do a bigger, thicker, wider pasta, or you could do like a rigatoni if you want. I just don't think this is a pasta dish, but again, if you like pasta, you do whatever you want. You could do it over rice. Back in the Russian tea room in New York City, the high-end Russian tea room, they used to serve this, and back in the day, they did used to serve it over rice. So again, up to you, but I love the mashed potato part. So I'm gonna grab my garlic mashed potatoes. These smell so good. Now again, mashed potatoes, super simple, but I just use the plant-based butter. These are nice and hot and fresh. I just made these. I like to leave the skins on a little bit when I do my mashed potatoes. I like a little of that skin in there, salt and pepper, a little garlic. I did put a little of this creamer in there too, adds a nice creaminess to it, but again, do whatever you want. Again, when you make mashed potatoes, if you don't know this, don't add your potatoes to boiling water. You want to put your potatoes in the water when it's cold and let it come to temperature. That helps with the starch content as well, if you're not familiar about that. And then I'm just gonna take some of my delicious stroganoff over here, and oh, it smells so good. I love that. Oh, and look at that. It's so thick and rich and creamy and hearty. This is great comfort food. And again, it's all plant-based. It's all natural. We're not using any fake ingredients here, all vegetables. Good and good for you. And look at that. You have this delicious, creamy, savory mushroom stroganoff. And remember, for those of you that know, plant-based is the way to go.